I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is an open meeting of the Seward, Nebraska governing body. The City of Seward abides by the Nebraska Open Meetings Act in conducting business. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is displayed on the north wall of this meeting room facility as required. Disclosure of meeting recording processes is posted in the meeting room. The participant sign-in sheet is available for use by any citizen addressing the council. Presenters shall approach the podium, state their name and address for the clerk's record, and are asked to limit remarks to 5 minutes. All remarks should be directed to the mayor, who shall determine by whom any appropriate response shall be made. The City of Seward reserves the right to adjust the order of items on this agenda if necessary, and may elect to take action on any of the items listed. Please call the roll.
Wilkin.
Present.
Beck. Here. Camper.
Here.
Fritz. Miller.
Here.
Singleton.
Here.
Schmidt.
Here.
Hance.
Here.
First item this evening is consideration of approval of draft minutes of October 3rd, 2017.
Move for approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes are Wilkin, Beck, Camper, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, and Hance.
Next item is the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please.
Yeah, this would be the appropriate time that if somebody wanted to move to discuss, I know that was mentioned by Councilman Sanders.
Oh, sure.
If he wants to pull this off, and then we could take it up after we
Okay.
approve the rest of the consent.
You don't pull it off?
Yeah. We have discussion now on it.
Yeah.
The issue is there's one on here too I don't see, and it's Kinch meetings.
Okay.
And
And just tell everyone what you're talking about. This is the list of all the properties that.
Yeah, I think everybody.
Done.
Is it?
Yeah, they tore it down.
They did tear it? Okay. And then the other one is Wassers, and that even goes all the way back when Tony Verona was still on yet, because he was a neighbor, and it's pending attorney. There's a couple of still pending attorney since January of 2017. So my opinion on this is, where are we at? It's waiting on the attorney. There's a couple of these. Wassers one, and there's another one in here as well. It's been waiting on the attorney since
Can you
January.
give me the address and the ones you're looking at?
Okay. One is 424 North 7th, Jeremy Martins.
Okay,
The next one is 149 North 1st, and that's Robert Wassers.
okay.
Those would be the two.
Those two, you would like an update?
Yeah,
Philhoffer has neither, has
yeah, fell off her true, it says pending.
Okay.
City administrator.
There we go, that's mine. I will, Ed is at a training for building codes and residential codes in Denver, and taking some exams and tests there this week, and so he'll be back. And so I'll review these two specific ones with him, and then have a more specific update for you at the next council meeting then.
Yeah, because I just, like I said, we used to get updates on this regularly, and some of these have been on here for a while.
Okay.
And just wanted, because of last meeting, it kind of brought that to attention, and
Are there any other ones that you want?
I think those three are the ones that the other ones are saying they got progress.
Okay.
So where are we at with
And I think this is always included, so
Yeah.
if you do have an issue, it's just if you have a specific question, let us know ahead of time, and that way we'll meet the right person here
Right.
for the meeting.
But we talked about it, and I sent him an email and told him basically,
Yeah.
and what I just want to know updates on, because some of these are still been on here for.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll check in with Ed and then probably have a more specific update for you
Wait,
at the next meeting.
I agree, and I move to approve.
We have a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes are Hance, Schmidt, Singleton, Miller, Camper, Beck, and Wilkin.
Next item we have is number 7, consideration of agreement between Nebraska Public Power District, NPPD, and the City of Seward to transfer public utility regulatory policies, Act, PURPA, obligations to NPPD I know we've, between, Greg and Kelly and NPD's lawyer, they've gone around and around on this last week. Kelly had a memo that you should have on your desk, which basically is his recommendation not to, sign this agreement at this time, given given the project we currently have with Bluestem, and also some of the other issues that, have come up during that discussion. Greg, do you wanna add anything?
No, I think that kind of sums it up. One is our trying to ensure our agreement with Bluestem Energy, because we have a qualifying facility and purpose certified that's coming online, and we're going to be purchasing power from it. And so there was no explicit waiver at the time. NPPD did say that they would put that waiver in, but other than that, there are other concerns that we had, and pursuant to our legal review of it, conducted by Kelly and all the questions we asked, and then contacting the city of Sutton and a number of other power districts that did not sign it, we feel comfortable at this time recommending that we not sign the waiver.
Are there any questions or comments regarding that memo or this discussion?
And we did let NPPD know that that would be our and Bluestem, that would be our recommendation tonight.
So do we need a motion to say we're not wanting to do it, or just no action?
I think it'd be cleaner to have a motion, just so that the council on the record, so there's no ambiguity. So the motion would be to not, enter into the agreement,
I'd move not to enter in the agreement.
we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes are Wilken, Beck, Camworth, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, and Hance.
Yeah, you typically don't have to take a motion to not do something, but it just makes the record cleaner for everyone that looks at this later. You know, all the people that look at this later, right? Both of them. Next item, number 8, discussion of flag policy and consideration of additional placement locations. Greg, do you want to take that?
Yeah, I was approached by Kiwanis, most recently in the last 2 weeks, about looking at the flag policy for the city of Seward. And the essential element of the policy itself is what days we would like to put out our flags on the poles along the highways and things like that. I think we have, is it Dick?
I'm Dick Stone.
Dick is here to also kind of inform us on this. The one thing I noticed when Dick shared with me the policy that they have to the Seward, that we send it to the Seward Kiwanis in a letter, because they're the ones that actually put the flags out for the highways, is he asked, are these dates okay? And the only date that I noticed off the top of my head that may be an appropriate date would be Patriots Day, which would be September 11th, and that is not listed. And so I didn't know if we wanted to formally add that to the list. And then the other element that Dick will also talk about is they want to extend the display of those flags further west along Highway 34. So I'll let Dick come up and kind of fill in the rest.
Okay, thank you. That letter that you have is dated 19 or 2011.
Yep.
That you, Mr. Reichmeyer put together. We've done it long before then. But there's a number of other things we're concerned about. Oh, and also another date would be Columbus Day. The city office was closed, I think, on Columbus Day, wasn't it?
No.
Or no? Okay. But the welcome flags, some of them are shredded, and I don't know how old they are, but it could be well into 20, 25 years, I'm not sure. And they're almost a disgrace to put out. They're faded and such. But the Kiwanis Club really isn't interested in purchasing those. And I don't know if the city has money for that type of thing or not. The other thing, again, he mentioned was going east and going west on Main Street, so that when people come into Seward, right now, they come into Seward, this being the courthouse right here, there's hardly anything going either direction, especially to the west. There's no flags hardly at all. The Jones Bank is the last flag, and that's almost by their front door, not farther down. When you go the other direction, the east, the last flag would be kind of where Beckler has his office, and there's a filling station there, or at an alley that we have a flag. So there's really no flags other than when you get right downtown, welcoming or displaying flags for any holiday or anything like that. we have money for flags, but we don't have money for brackets, and I don't think brackets is a big item. I think somebody was watching magazine and stuff that the city might get would show brackets and what they might cost, but I don't think it'd be a big item, but I would assume we could use probably 25 or 30 of those. Meaning that we could display 15 flags either direction quite easily. And I don't know if you have any problem with what type of pole we put them on. When you look at the poles that are out there, the light poles, they've got a lot of directions on them about no parking, speed limits and things like that, which is fine, but does that mean you don't want any flag displayed beneath those, or is the pole still, there are some poles that have directions on that do have flags on, but not very many. So, the city would have to let us know whether we can use any of those poles that do have directional signals on them. And also, we would have to have the city probably put up the brackets. We would point out posts for them and stuff like that when they were doing it.
Okay. So I think there's a lot to unpack there. One of the first ones being, do you want to add or remove any days from the list that's in your packet? So, again, the only one I could think of off the top of my head was Patriots Day. So, I don't know how we want to.
Do we have any cost estimates of purchasing new welcome flags and new brackets?
I do not know. I know that usually through Mars a good source for buying flags, I know that. And I could get an estimate, but I'm just telling you what I was told as I kind of came in was originally this was a project that was undertaken and coordinated by Kiwanis, not only for the placement of the flags. I don't know who originally bought the flags. It was my understanding that it was kind of meant to be a private endeavor undertaken by our community organizations. And so when they kind of initially came in throughout the summer, I thought that was the understanding, but it seems like that Kiwanis at this point is, correct me if I'm wrong, Dick, it doesn't have the resources, is not looking to pay for them.
Not the welcome flags. We continue to replace American flags because we.
Oh, you're talking about the welcome ones that say, they're red, white, and blue and say welcome?
Right.
Okay.
That would be perhaps something the city would look at,
Okay.
because that definitely is a city promotion.
The city bought the welcome flag.
Okay.
And again, it depends, the cost would probably depend upon the quality of flag, but
How
I'm
many-
guessing that in American flags, I think that they cost approximately $30.
How many welcome flags would be needed?
Well, we could, if it's necessary that maybe we don't put flags on every, welcome flags on every post that we got an American flag on, but I could see easily 50 of them.
And we haven't had any new welcome flags,
But it's been years
so
since.
the design and everything will just, we'd have to start over.
Yeah, what's a flag simply say, they just simply say welcome, they don't say the city of Seward or anything like that.
So there may be some generic welcome opportunities.
Okay.
We can sure look into that and then see what we can come up with, because there might be an opportunity to improve that on that design or do something a little bit different that makes it more customized to our community, so you don't see the same one in other communities, maybe.
There's a lot of magazines
Yeah, I'm
that
sure.
have the flags.
Yeah, so I guess at this point, if you wanna add the Patriot Day as one of the days, and then as far as the other items, we can, administratively, we can kinda go through that list and work with Kiwanis and see what makes sense, and then go from there. Assuming the cost doesn't get too high, if it gets, I don't know what unreasonable is, but if it gets to a point where we will probably then come back to you and say, okay, this is what, it ends up being $100 a flag, we're talking 50 flags, you still wanna do this, or how you wanna proceed, but for right now, just so we don't hold this up, we can go that route. If you'd like to make a motion to that effect. Is there anything else we need to, okay.
Nope.
So basically adding Patriots Day, and then that's probably all you need to do for a motion, and we'll just figure out the rest and then come back to you if we have issues. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Would you like to make a
So moved.
motion? Anyone like to second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes for Wilken, Beck, Camworth, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, and Hance.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I'm enjoying what we're doing.
Thank you,
We
Dave.
appreciate all your help and the Kiwanis support for all these flag projects. Next item is number 9. This is consideration of Seward Foundation application request. This is a lead senior shuttle is A, and that's to replace the shuttle vehicle, and then B is the Seward Public Properties Department replace slide at Carroll K Park. You wanna talk about either one of those, or do you have any questions?
Bob is here on the park one. I'll just note, Katrina's doing a great job of trying to raise funds for a new senior shuttle. Her vehicle that she was using for shuttle, the car, got backed into, I think, or ran into. And she's been borrowing the city van for quite a while, and she does like the van, and so her expectation is to go out and get a van. It works really well for both picking up food and deliveries, stuff that she does, as well as the seniors seem to like the accessibility, the automatic doors that slide open and shut. It works really well for her, and so she thinks this will be the last little bit she needs to help her get to a price point where she can purchase what she needs for that vehicle.
And Bob, real quick, what's the issue with the slide?
It's got a crack down the middle of it that's just from 20 years of wear and tear. It wasn't vandalized or anything.
I noticed we had like a snow fence coming around that.
We have a playground inspector that we check him at least 3 times during the year, and about 3 weeks ago we got an email from a family saying they were there playing, and then there was a crack. And we get those playground from Crouch Recreation, so we had somebody come out. The issue is you can't just replace the 2 sections that are bad. It comes from the factory. It's the big tornado slide, so it comes from the factory already on the pole. So we have to replace the whole tornado slide itself. And that's kind of the bad part is it was just where it's worn real thin in the middle of the part and just finally started to crack.
Thanks, Bob. Are there any questions or comments about either one of these items? Would anyone like to make a motion on either one of these items?
Are we moving forward to the Seward Foundation?
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
For A, the lead senior shuttle to replace the shuttle vehicle.
Second.
Be a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
I'm not sure what we're voting on.
Okay,
Are
so
we doing one or the other? Or both?
we're starting with A, was the first motion,
Okay.
and then we'll go to B, regardless of how that turns out.
All right.
So A, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes for Wilken, Beck, Camworth, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, and Hance.
And then item B, this is the Seward Public Properties Department to replace the slide at Carroll K Park. Would someone like to make that motion?
Move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes for Wilken, Beck, Camworth, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, and Hance.
Okay, thank you. And next item, number 10, this is consideration of a resolution designating disabled persons parking space at the corner of 3rd Street and Jackson Avenue. And I believe this is, was requested by the business there.
Yeah, it's from the Cross Makers.
Is the old is it the old dental office there?
The dental office, I think, is kind of to the
Is
south.
that building though?
Yes.
And then you got Ayler's.
Okay.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mayor,
Yes.
excuse me, were we supposed to not make a recommendation of which one to prioritize?
I don't know. Do you need to prioritize them?
Of the 2 before? I thought so.
Oh,
Oh,
I believe it's in there.
do we want to make a priority?
Well, I
Okay.
prioritize, the make the motion prioritize the replacement of the shuttle vehicle as number 1.
I'll second.
okay. So we are gonna forward both of them, but the motion is to prioritize 9A, which is to replace the shuttle vehicle for the lead senior shuttle. And we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes, Wilken, Beck, Camworth, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, and Hance.
Thanks, Alan. Good catch. And so, yes, this is so you're aware of what building we're talking about. And they've asked for another stall there to be designated as such. Did you have anything you want to add?
If you had some questions there, I'm representing the Seward Crossmakers.
could you just, for our record, just state your name and your address?
Marlon Pozell.
I don't know who you are, but,
Marlon, do you wanna come forward to the podium here?
Okay,
and your address, please.
my address is 345 Cherry Lane.
Thank you.
We're in the process of installing a handicap accessibility ramp, and this would tie right in at the end of that ramp.
Okay.
That building actually services, like you mentioned, Ayers, but we also have an apartment there, which really that part doesn't affect this, but we do have businesses. We have Dan's Digging, Sharon Hartman, which is a real estate, and Homestead Senior Care, and there's 2 hair galleries, and there's a nail, there's a name for that, but whatever it takes care of, nails, toes or fingers, and a massage business. So there are a lot of businesses that are affected, especially some of the hair salons. One of them has been there for a long time, and a lot of her patrons are either handicapped to the point that they need a wheelchair or the stroller. So the handicap ramp would, and this would tie right into that.
Any questions? Yes, John?
Now, Marlon, on this, are you gonna put it to the east where you're almost touching Third Street? Because if it was me, if you're putting in the handicap, I'd put it closer to that alley. Because that's all that concrete right there as well, I know. But if you put it there, you know, that closer to the alley, and you got more of a concrete straight slab, so that if you go clear to the east, there's quite a distance.
This would be actually on the parking area, it would be clear to the
Oh,
north.
Oh,
It's on Third Street rather than on.
oh, it's on Third,
than
okay.
on Jackson.
Yeah.
On Jackson, they have one approximately
there is
right in
one
front
on
of your
Jackson.
entrance for the crossmakers
That's correct.
with a ramp
Right.
from the grade all the way up to the sidewalk, and then they have a ramp into their building.
So
Which
there,
probably was originally put there when that was used as a clinic.
cause when you read the write-up on it, it says Third and Jackson.
Yeah, it's not exactly,
So it'd be Third Street.
so this one will be on
Yeah.
Third Street, it'll be on the furthest north stalls, right there along the west side of Third Street, right out front of the east side of the building.
Right.
Across the coals there.
Any other questions?
Any other questions or comments from the council?
I introduced the resolution.
All right. The resolution has been introduced and is designated as resolution number 2017-15. Would anyone like to move that this resolution be passed and adopted?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. You could register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes are Wilken, Beck, Camworth, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, and Hance.
Next item is the city administrator's report.
Not terribly much to add specifically to my report. I would remind you that we're having our work session next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. It'll take about an hour to kind of do the brainstorming, initial elements of thoughts and ideas on a new comp plan. And so RDG will be here to lead that discussion, so we'll see you here at 7 if you can make it. If you can't, please let me know. Other than that, I can answer any questions you guys have about it, but that's kind of what we got going on.
Any questions or comments on the city administrator's report? Otherwise, entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second, is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. You display the votes.
Voting yes are Hance, Schmidt, Singleton, Miller, Camworth, Beck, and Wilken.
Is there any future requests for council agenda items or administrative action? Yes, John?
I mean, it'd be good to bring us up to date where we're at with the country club and the restaurant out there. And, you know, it's been how many months now? Where are we at?
Okay, we can should include that, maybe as in the report, if that's okay. If you have any questions, you can always ask at that time. Any other, requests? Seeing none, I don't have any, I know we have, Jonathan, what upcoming events do you have for us?
A lot. this Saturday, we have Ignite the Flight, of course. That's a Seward County Chamber Development Partnership event at Seward Municipal Airport. The Whistlers have been awesome to work with, and we appreciate their support along with the Municipal Airport Authority. Of course, the upcoming Lighted Christmas Parade and Festival that takes place the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Family-friendly, fun. We encourage you to bring out families. Let's see, we have a number of membership luncheon upcoming on the 7th. Let's see, and then on November 2nd, Seward will actually be host to the Nebraska Diplomats. That's an arm of the Nebraska Department of Economic Development. The Governor and Department of Economic Development Director will be out to host that event. It's a regional economic development celebration, and we'll have diplomats from all over the state to come here to Seward County to learn about our area, but we're featuring businesses from all across the 15 counties in southeast Nebraska. We'll be focusing on two of our panels in the afternoon, talking about best practices for partnerships, and then also innovators in southeast Nebraska. So really should be some great topics. And then opportunity to help welcome in business executives, and I say that as an opportunity to showcase our community, and obviously, encourage them that they may have some business expansion opportunities there.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. That's all we have for upcoming events. Next, we entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
A motion and a second. Please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes are Wilken, Beck, Camper, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, and Ham.
Thank you.